Oh yeah. Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. And today I'd like to talk to you of another underrated film which I finally had the pleasure of watching. And 4 or 5 years, 2018, 18, 19, 21. So like 4 or 5 years this movie's been out. And it's probably one of the first movies not first movie she's ever done, but one of the first action movies. She was in Batman Forever, but I'm talking about like an action of her actually doing things. And I watched it yesterday, and I thought it was cool, very cool, and I loved what they were able to do, and I loved how they chose to kind of tell the story. The underrated crime thriller by Karen Kushima, Destroyer, starring Nicole Kidman, Sebastian Stan, and Tatiana Maslany. I'm butchering these names. I'm sorry, y'all. But fuck, I'm going back to school. The story centers on a police detective who tries to reconnect with some old... there's some people from her past she used to work with. Well, she pretended to work with while she was undercover. She tries to basically settle things with them so she can move on, because her life has become crap. Nicole Kidman plays a LAPD detective who was undercover on a job. Her name is Erin Bell. And she used to be married, but divorce, things kind of fell apart. And you kind of understand a good reason why, where the film, as it plays along, the movie goes back and forth from a flashback to current events that are happening in the story to kind of build up the reason why Nicole Kidman's character Erin Bell is kind of dead on trying to capture these people from her past. And the reason why, which I won't spoil too much, in those flashbacks she was an undercover cop trying to investigate along with Sebastian Stan. Some people are going to try to rob some banks, and Nicole Kidman and Sebastian Stan go in, try to pretend to be these druggy wannabe bank robbers to try to infiltrate and find the best time to arrest them. Things kind of go south. Nicole Kidman and Sebastian Stan creates a relationship somewhat, and it turns out for real that a series of unfortunate events led to Sebastian Stan's demise. And ever since then, she is on a vengeful hunt. Well, not vengeful hunt. I mean, when things kind of get back up into the surface, where after that event where she tries to move on and has a kid and all that, when she gets the news that there's a possibility of her old people that she was affiliated with tries to come back and possibly pull up another heist, she goes AWOL and tries to do whatever she can to stop those men. All just men, just one woman. Basically, to try to capture and take down the bank robbers who got away the last time she was trying to go after him. I love how this movie was told. It goes back and forth from past to present, where it's kind of like their own stories are kind of like settling up, and they use this way to kind of build up more of character and more like the events that are taking place. Now the trailer sells it kind of like an action movie. It's more of a thriller. It's a drama thriller with an action sequence in it. Actually, maybe few, like maybe just two minor ones, but more on a dramatic, more of a dramatic setting. Nicole Kidman nails it as this character, Erin Bell. In fact, I mean, she's an amazing actress. But this is probably my favorite film of hers. Yeah, hands down. This woman, she's tired, she's brutal, she is willing to go all the way if she has to get her revenge against, the person responsible for taking away her true lover. And I like actually how the movie ties things together. And they do this kind of trick, and you don't notice it until the end. Is that when the film starts, and I don't want to spoil too much, but the way the director chose to do it, you don't even know. You don't even know. But as I mentioned before, the movie flashes back from past to present. So what happens in the film, and it's a good hook of the film, where they actually show you a piece of the ending. And then the movie makes it in the way the ending of the film is kind of continuing or pushing the story forward, but it's not until you get to that end. And when you realize there's a certain point of the movie where it reflects early in the film, it kind of catches on saying, wait a minute, so that was the beginning. So that was the start of the movie. So the movie was chronicling her journey back to that point. So I actually showed you the ending, and then it flashed back without even you as the viewer noticing that you're watching a flashback sequence until the movie plays out, until it reaches that certain point of the movie. Then just like, wait a minute, they showed the flashback. Well, not they show the flashback, but then you kind of catch on the movie for all this time you're watching the movie from like how it all started from you're watching the ending, then the movie without noticing journeys back to the beginning, back to the end, if that makes sense. That makes sense. And man, I was amazed how this famous filmmaker pulled this off. I mean, I've seen her other film, The Invitation, and she's underrated. She's underrated. I think she's an underrated filmmaker. Hell, I could see her directing bigger movies, and I think she's kind of like in her late 50s, but I could see her work going places. If you want a unique action movie, I'll recommend Destroyer. Currently available on Tubi as of right now, I think for the next 14 to 7 days, I think. Which I didn't even know that it was on there until I find out. That's crazy how Tubi does it. It's on Tubi. So anybody sees it within this next 7 days, if you're looking for a good action movie, I recommend Destroyer. You can run it on Netflix, YouTube. Destroyer. Have you seen it? Comment below. Let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.